All right. All right, man. Welcome back. You guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the Winners Diet podcast. I'm your host, Project Mac. Happy Father's Day to all my fathers out there. I'm not a dad, but shout out to my dad and many other dads out there um, celebrating. Hope you guys had a great Sunday, celebrating time with your families. Um, you know, holidays are always great, man. It's a lot going on in the world right now, so it's very important that we spend time with those that we love. So make sure you guys were able to do that. Okay. Today, man, we got a jam-packed show. We're actually doing the show in its entirety today, so we're gonna try this thing out, see how it goes. You guys were still in the testing phases. We're seeing how everything plays out. If you guys like some stuff, if I should take some stuff out, add some stuff, please let me know so we can get that going forward. My goal is to give you guys the best possible show that I can give you guys. So, any feedback is hugely encouraged. All right. But so just a rundown of today's show, man. Today's show, we're going to be talking about different segments as far as what's going on in the fitness world today. Excuse me. News, updates, things like that. So that will be for the Fit Report. Next up, we'll also be going into what the fitness. So covering different and reacting to different topics in what the fitness, giving you guys insight on how you can apply, the winner's diet in certain situations. Also acting, just reacting to funny stuff. That's always great. This show isn't always about, um, education. Even though it's a huge part of the show, I still want to entertain you guys as much as I can. So if I can do that through, you know, funny fitness videos that can still be a teaching moment, that's my goal. So that's what I'll be doing. And then the topic of the day, the main event topic, why men fall off their fitness after the age of 30. That's a very, very, very important topic. Um, and so many teachable moments in that, so many different things that you guys can learn from and apply to yourself. So we'll be discussing from A all the way to Z how that affects a majority of men. So I'll be breaking that down as well. So, man, we got a jam-packed show today. I'm excited. And if you guys get some value from this, please, man, before you do anything, before you lock in with me, please subscribe and hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I'm trying to get this thing going. I'm trying to hit the algorithm. We've been gone for a long time. So I'm trying to get everything together and, get us where we need to go. So hit that like button. I'm gonna wait a second for y'all to hit that like button. All right. Did y'all hit that like button? All right. We gonna see, man. All right, man. So first off, the fit report, man. We're gonna be talking about and reacting to certain topics in the fitness world that's going on today. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. Here, hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Let's figure this out. All right, here we go. All right. So the first one is research reveals eating one large meal per day causes 38% more calorie burn than eating multiple small meals. A review published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition investigated how meal size and frequency influence thermogenesis, the calories your body burns during digestion. Researchers found that consuming one large meal significantly increased metabolic rate compared to dividing the same calories into smaller meals throughout the day. In fact, the larger single meal triggered a 38% higher metabolic response, suggesting that your body has to work harder and burn more calories when faced with a bigger digestive challenge. I'm not reading the rest of all that, but it's interesting. So they're saying that eating one large meal is better for you than eating multiple small meals a day. Um, my thoughts on that. So to me, when it comes to eating meals and I guess your metabolism, to me it's about, and everybody's body is different. So what can work for one person may not work for the next person. I know that it really depends on your activity level. That's one thing that they're leaving out from this article is the activity level determines that increase, right? So for someone that's super active, they may not do well with eating one meal a day, you know, just because their body is, you know, always hungry because they burn off the calories that they eat so quickly because of their high metabolism. So I know for me, I like to eat different smaller meals or multiple meals throughout the day. Um for breakfast. So for breakfast, this is my pretty much my routine, especially during the week. For breakfast, I'll have a protein shake and then I won't eat lunch until around 2 o'clock. My breakfast is around like 8, 9 o'clock, depending if I work out like 6 a.m. My breakfast is around like 8, 9 o'clock. So protein shake, followed by a lunch around 2, 3 o'clock. And that will be like a protein with a vegetable or greens, whatever. So very light, low calorie. And then dinner will be a basic protein, carb, vegetable. So that's my meal. I mean, I've done intermittent fasting, and I guess this is what they're referring to. But I mean, for me, man, I think for me, just being able to, because I'm constantly moving throughout the day, so I need to fuel up every couple hours. That's just me, but if it works for you, it works, man. This is why it's very important that you guys try different stuff, man. Don't just stick to one routine. All right, next up here, what we got? What we got? What we got? Hold on, what we got here. Let's see the next article. Hold on. What we got? Where's the next article at? Oh, here we go. All right. It says men are the happiest when they are improving themselves physically and financially. An idle man is a depressed man. Psychological research consistently finds that men tend to experience greater well being when they're pursuing goals, growing in their careers, or improving their physical health. Progress and achievement are closely tied to identity and self worth for many men, and lack of purpose can often lead to depression, anxiety, or burnout. This is 100% fact. When I was at my lowest, it was when I felt completely stuck because at one point business was slowing down, um and what else, man, what wasn't happening at that time? It was just a lot of transitioning, going through personal issues, relationships. Um, and then on top of that, I'm dealing with trying to figure out what the next move is in my business, you know, kind of just feeling stuck in life. And yeah, man, that can cause depression for sure. You know, it can definitely cause depression when you don't know what the next move is going to be. And when you're already in a funk, when you're already battling adversity. Business stress is heavy, man. I know it was for me because as a man, you constantly have to be reinventing yourself every so often, every few years, right? I think once you get to a point where you've kind of hit the end of the road and you've felt like you've done everything you can, I think it's time to reinvent yourself or pivot into a different direction. The great thing about fitness for me was I was able to pivot in so many different lanes because but it was still fitness. So it wasn't like I was pivoting to a different industry. You know, I started off as personal trainer, training in the gym. Then I went out and started my own business, training independently. Then I went into the online route, right? So I can train, so I can scale more. Then I went into the podcasting route. Now that I can reach more people, and then funnel that into my online business. So there were just so many lanes that I could pivot into, and I was still reinventing myself. You know, oh, he's doing this, oh, he's doing that, and oh, he's doing this. So it's like I'm constantly adding layers um onto myself. But it was to a point where I felt like in business where I didn't know where else to pivot to, you know. And many people feel like that, man. It's hard running your own business. It's extremely difficult. I would say that. I would say the most stress I've encountered was running my own business, man. Because there's so many things that, you know, you just don't know, from financing to the marketing part to just, everything. Like a lot of stuff we learn as we go. You can learn information online from people, you can have a mentor, but it doesn't mean nothing unless you're going in the field, you know? Unless you're going in the field, it doesn't mean anything. I can read 100 books about how to run a business, how to start a business, but unless I'm in the field getting my hands dirty, it doesn't even matter. Cuz at that point you're just getting information but you're not applying information. So, I 100% agree, man. An idle man is a depressed man. If you feel stuck, you have to find a way to pivot or find a way to reinvent yourself, whether that be in the lane that you're already in or shit, go to a different industry, man. If you feel like you've done all you can in the industry that you're currently in, you know, go to a different industry. I never did anything besides fitness. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've tried to do different stuff, but it was short lived. But I always came back to fitness just because this was the only thing that I knew how to do, you know? So, um, man, if you're stuck, man, like I said, if you're stuck right now, if you're a guy that's stuck and you feel like you don't know what to do, man, it's time to pivot. It's time to make another move, whether that be you reinvent yourself into another niche in your field already, or you go pivot into a different industry. So those are really your only two options. If you're stuck, reinvent yourself in your niche or pick a different industry. That was what I did. I just pivoted and reinvented myself and in my niche, and things are working out pretty good so far. So I can't complain, man. It gets like that. So let's keep it moving on, man. It's very, 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 very difficult out here, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's pivot. Guys, bear with me, guys. This is something I'm trying to figure out here. All right. So next up, we already saw that one. The U.S. has never been more unhappy, new report finds. The 2025 World Happiness Report reveals that the United States has dropped to its lowest ever position, ranking 24th among 140 countries. This decline is attributed to factors such as increased social isolation, with a notable rise in individuals eating alone and a surge in deaths of despair related to suicide, alcohol, and drug abuse. Woo! Man, we are in a very we're in a very serious time right now in this country, in the world, really. um I'll be the first to say, man, if you guys are looking for things to go back to the way it used to be, it's not going back. It's not going back. Things are only going to continue to get pricier and more expensive. More and more people are going to get priced out of life, and it's just the way the world is going right now. But what Fat Joe say? Yesterday's prices or today's prices are not yesterday's prices, man. So things are just going to continue to rise, man, and as that happens, more people are going to find themselves more unhappy because now they're not going to be able to participate in certain things. Look at the way of look what's happening right now. We have a serious um birth rate problem going on, not in just this country, really a lot of parts of the world. Look at Japan. Their birth rate is low. The US, our birth rate is low. Canada, their birth rate is low. You know? So it's not just a US problem, man. It's happening across the globe. Things are just getting way too expensive. People are not able to afford a house. People are not able to afford to have kids like they used to. So more people are just doing things either alone or they're, you know, getting with somebody that we can split this thing down the middle just so we can survive. It's a crazy time we're living in right now, man. And do I see things getting better? I don't know. I can't tell you that. Do I? I can't tell you. I don't know. You know, inflation is at an all-time high. We have massive inflation right now. Like inflation has always been there. Things have always gone up, but it's gone up in increments, right? We're dealing with massive inflation right now to the point where I think I saw a stat. It was just like the last 5 years, fast food has gone up 40%. So you can't even. So before, back in the day, you used to be able to go to McDonald's and get a whole meal for around $5. That same meal now is going to run you about $13 to $14, maybe even more. So, it's something that a lot of us didn't foresee happening, but this is where we are right now. And you guys know, for me, my philosophy for anything that you want to do, if it's to make more money, if it's to get in better shape, if it's to just elevate anywhere in your life, man, you got to apply the winner's diet, man. That's the only solution. Apply the winner's diet. Change your habits. Change who you hang around. Change who you're listening to. Change the food that you eat in your system, right? All these things play a part in you becoming a better version of yourself. So the only thing that we can do to combat this is become better versions of ourselves. We have to. There's no other choice. Being average, being just getting by is no longer, it's no longer, you know, acceptable. It's no longer acceptable. You have to do more than the average person just to get by, just to get ahead. They said $100,000 in cities like San Francisco, LA, New York. That is considered low income now, man. Because I remember back in the day, someone making six figures, that was the equivalent to them becoming a millionaire. True story. If you made six figures in the early 2000s or the 90s, that was the equivalent to being a millionaire. Just because of the cost of living was way lower and everything was way more affordable. Six figures is about what, $8,800 a month? That's a lot of money back then. It still is a lot of money, but compared to the cost of living, it definitely eats up a lot at it, from rent to food to car note, insurance, phone, like the bills eat at most of that. And then you have the taxes. Then you got lifestyle. People can't travel how they used to. I still see people traveling in the airport. People are still traveling, man, but you know, you got to look at how they're traveling. Taking a family of four on vacation, man, you got to be bringing a lot of money, man. You got to be bringing in a lot of money. You and your spouse have to bring in a lot of money just to afford a decent vacation now. And I'm not talking about going to, you know, Phoenix, Arizona for a weekend. I'm talking about going to Disneyland. I'm talking about going to, out the country, going to Hawaii. It's hard now, man. It's super hard. You know, it's very hard. So the only way to combat this, man, we gotta apply the winner's diet, man. That's the only way. That's the only way we gonna beat this, man. Anyway, next up, I hope y'all can see this. Uh can y'all see this? This next. All right. So let's get this last article here going. This is a funny one. New study reveals 54% of gym bros don't actually know each other's real names. Breaking a new May 2025 study has confirmed what the gym community has suspected for many years. Most gym bros don't actually know each other's names, real names. Despite spending hours training together each week, 54% of gym bros admit they have no idea what their lifting partner's name is. Instead, they rely on nicknames like bro, king, big man, boss, or big dog, and often acknowledge each other with the classic nod. Now, this, you guys, I can attest to because, man, I've been going to the gym for years, man. The same gym, right? Whether in LA or back home in the Bay, and there's just certain people that I've known for a long time, and I have no idea what the hell their name is. I don't know what their name is. And I never bothered to ask. And these are people that I've lifted with, I've played basketball with, and I've seen sometimes out and about. And we just strike up a conversation. Like we've known each other for years. I don't know, man. Maybe just a man thing. A lot of us really don't. I don't know. It's different. Like it's I don't know. It's very strange. Like we never really, man, we kind of just like click based off of just, especially in the gym setting. Like we kind of just click based off of energy and vibes, you know. And really it starts with like if you guys are playing basketball, you know, if you guys kind of click playing basketball and then you guys see each other around the gym, you guys strike up conversations. It never really starts with, hey, what's your name, bro? You guys kind of just talk about whatever. So yeah, I can definitely see that happening, man. It's funny. It's definitely funny. So yeah, we got to do better, man. We definitely got to do better because this isn't right. They deserve better. All right, let's get into what the fitness, guys. We are almost there. We're about halfway through. Let's get to it. What we got here? All right, so this one right here. Hold on. This is a guy basically explaining to you guys the difference between using spray cooking oils and actual, you know, cooking oils. A lot of you guys are cooking, trying to lose weight right now, and a lot of you guys don't realize that the amount of oil that you guys use to cook, these are the sneaky calories that you don't even notice when you're cooking. Most people don't even know. Just 1 tablespoon of olive oil is about what, 75 calories? So 2 tablespoons of that, most people don't even use 2 tablespoons. They use about 4 to 5. So I'm not a mathematician. So what? Times 4, that's about 350 calories already out the rip. So add that on to whatever it is that you're making. And a lot of people don't even know, man, why can't I lose weight? Man, it's the cooking oils, man. So let's check this out right here. Let's check this guy out.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy because people don't take this into account when they're trying to lose weight. They're like, oh, I'm in a deficit. I'm doing everything right and being healthy. But you got the heaviest hand when you pour the oil. Or one of my favorites that people forget is the condiments. The condiments can be an extra 300, 400 calories by themselves before you even eat your food. The sneaky calories, the drinks, every time you have a canned soda. And juice is just as bad, 150 calories with a canned soda. It's not that you can't have these things, that you need to be conscious about how much calories they carry. Just because it's a liquid, just because it's not a solid food, a traditional whole food, or something that you take in your hand and you take a bite out of, doesn't mean it doesn't carry calories. And so when I tell people, listen, you need to track all your stuff, doesn't mean to do it forever. You need to learn, how much am I really consuming? Because when people tell themselves they're in a caloric deficit, but they're not losing weight, it's impossible. The definition of being in a caloric deficit is for you to be consuming less than what your body specifically is burning. It's based off of your body, no one else's, which means if you're not losing weight, it's because you're eating too many calories. And trust me, ladies, I understand. I've worked with women that have PCOS, hypothyroidism, going to menopause, postpartum. Can things make it more challenging for you to stay in your deficit? Yes. But if you stay in your deficit, you're going to lose weight.
That's it, man. It's that simple. It's that simple. And the funny thing is, again, we don't even notice how many calories we're putting into our body when we're using condiments, cooking oils, drinking liquid calories. You guys got to read the food labels. You know, so people come to me and be like, man, I'm eating the right stuff. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But they're missing the most important part. They're not reading, one, they're not reading the food labels. Two, they don't even understand that these things add up. One tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, that's already 300 calories. The ketchup, the Heinz ketchup that you use, that's 50 calories, and you're drenching your burger in that. That's another 200 calories. You're drinking orange juice, that's about 210 or so calories per glass that you're drinking. So it's the little stuff that you guys don't notice, man. Which is why I always say, man, if you're cooking, if you're using cooking oils, switch to the spray. Just switch to the spray until you can figure out where you are in your caloric deficit. You need to eliminate anything that has those quote unquote sneaky calories, right? Again, the cooking oils, the condiments, the liquid calories, the juices, the things of that nature. So you got to make sure you guys are paying attention to those little sneaky calories. All right. Next up, what we got here, man? We just saw that. Just saw that. All right, what we got here, man? We got LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool James. So I guess this is a video of when LL Cool J curled each of the View hosts when they asked what weight he can curl. So again, guys, a lot of you guys are guys that, you know, fell off your routine. Some of you guys are married, you know, and I train plenty married men, and guys are saying, "Oh man, my wife don't care about that." So you guys don't even understand you guys maybe have forgotten the effect that being in shape can have with women, right? And just other people in general, right? It's just a different respect level that you get, you know? So, and I understand, look, LL, he's a rapper, he's a superstar, he's a celebrity. So obviously they're gonna be a little different, right? LL's a sex symbol. It's just it is what it is. So this may not be the best example, but listen, man, being in shape never hurt nobody. I've never once in my life have I seen a girl say, if it was up to you and you could choose between a fat dude and a dude that was in shape, which one do you want? I've never in my 30 years of life have I ever seen a girl say, give me the fat one. Never seen it. Maybe somebody can prove me wrong, but I've never seen it. So until someone can prove me wrong, that's what I'm sticking with. Holy curl you. All right, here we go. LL. Absolutely curling her up. Yep. Nice. Yep. Nice. And once one sees that, guess what happens? I promise you. Another one's gonna want to go and jump into it too. That's a no-brainer. You have some explaining to do when you get home.
Tim, I was just curled by LL.
Yeah. Oh, God. You know what? I didn't even realize. You know what?
Up.
Don't give me shot in the calf muscle. Hey, LL, I like your music, bud. Wow.
Now do share. She's only 100 pounds. No. You need to pick out a girl.
You see? Now she wants some of that. Yep. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Come on, man. Yep, Sherry Shepherd. Now she wants some of that. Hey, man. I'm telling you, man. It doesn't hurt to be in shape. It really doesn't. And I'm not saying that because you're in shape, girls are gonna just be running up to you and asking you to pick them up and curl them. That's not gonna happen, obviously, unless you're LL Cool J, of course. But again, doesn't hurt to be in shape. It's better to be in shape than to not be in shape. I'll leave it at that. All right. So next up, What we got here, man? Let's go with this next one. Hold on. Let's stop that. Let's get to the next one, man. Let's get to the next one. Next video we got here, a man. Here we go. So this video is about if your man or partner is in the gym, you need to be too. All right, let's check it out.
The serious he take it, the more danger you are in. Like, it's one thing for him to just start going to the gym. That mother start counting micros, you do.
This video is so funny, but I agree with him. If your man is a beginner in the gym and he's trying to take his health more seriously, he's trying to start moving his body and eat better, you need to be not only supporting him, but trying to get in the boat with him, okay? Don't let him leave you behind, because eventually he's gonna get tired of you trying to feed him pizza and pork chops and, you know what I'm saying? When he's trying to do better about his health, he'll become irritated with things like that. And especially if you're out of shape, there's gonna come a time where he's like, hey, baby, come on and, come to the gym with me. Because he's gonna start seeing his results. He's gonna start seeing how he's feeling better, and he's gonna want the same for you. And it's like, if you don't want that same thing for yourself, I'm turned off with you. Your mindset literally elevates, and you become a better person when you're in the gym, mentally, physically, all of it. So if your partner is not on that same page with you, it can be some friction in the relationship. I agree with him.
Lady, if your man...
Yep. Definitely agree with that. Because I was in a relationship at one point, and the girl I was with at the time, she wasn't too big on working out. And I wasn't like, okay, look, man. At that time, I was just like, just as long as she ain't fat or getting fat, then I'm cool. I'm really cool with it. But now that I'm older, I'm just like, you know what, bro? For me, that is a non-negotiable. Like, you got to work out, especially if you're dating me. You got to work out. Now, do you need to be looking like an IG model influencer? No. But you have to be active to a certain degree. You at least got to do something. Do Pilates. It doesn't even have to be working out, like weightlifting type stuff. Like, you can do Pilates. You can do yoga. You can, just be active. Do something, But if you're just sitting around getting fat all day, that's a problem. And it's not going to work. So you guys got to make sure. A lot of you guys right now are married, and a lot of you guys are trying to get in shape at the moment. And maybe your spouse doesn't really see the value in it. Like, I'm sure she knows it's important, but we got life going on. So it may not be at the top of her priority, but it is for you. So I've seen things where the wife is trying to get in shape, the husband doesn't want to work out, and eventually it becomes a problem, and vice versa. The husband's trying to get in shape, the wife doesn't work out, and eventually it becomes a problem. So, and I'm not here to give you guys relationship advice. This is not what this channel is for. But I can guarantee you, because it still applies to fitness. So what I will say is that there has to be somewhat of a, how do I say this? You guys have to understand each other when it comes to your goals. So if you're trying to lose weight, she has to understand that, okay, he can't eat this right now. She can eat it, but she has to also be understanding that, you're on a health journey right now, and vice versa, And it's hard, man, because some of you guys got kids. Some of you guys live busy lives, so it's not always it's not always Oh, we back. Okay. It's not always convenient to eat healthy, man. So it's very important that you guys have an understanding, because eventually, you know, it will become an issue down the line, especially if you guys don't click on those certain viewpoints. So just be mindful of that, man. And let's go with the last one here. We are about 40 minutes in before we get to the main event. Let's get to the last one. Last one here. What we got? Oh, man. Okay. So a woman goes viral for making her own food after being told to wait by church's chicken staff. And I'm taking some effing extra. Got me effed up. Woo. Okay, let's check this out, man. Let's see what we got going on here.
My girl clowning bad. My girl fixing her own order. The fuck I am. All right. Me talking about some fucking wait, bitch. No. You don't give me my motherfucking shit. And I'm gonna take some fucking extra. I'm fucked up. Around this bitch. Girl.
Look at the baby. Damn. He's like, what the hell going on?
Oh, my
Damn.
girl
Okay.
clowning bad.
Well, and guys, this is another reason why this is another reason why you guys don't need to be eating at places like this, because of the type of energy and spirit that is in these places. You don't see this at Kava. You don't see this at Sweet Green, right? You don't see this at higher end restaurants. You only see this behavior at the Popeyes. You only see this behavior at McDonald's, at these lower quality, lower tier establishments. Man, I even consider Chipotle now low tier. But you don't see these things at places where the food is a little bit more pricier. People behave better because they have more to spend. When people don't have a lot to spend, their energy is different. Their behaviors are different. So this is why I tell you guys, man, it's not even worth it to eat at these places. Because not only is the food not even good for you, it just attracts bad energy, man. Who the fuck wants to be around this? Who wants to be around this type of stuff? Like, come on, man. I'm in there trying to get me a 3-piece with a biscuit, maybe some fries on the side, and I'm seeing a girl go back there with her infant, making her own food. Because I guess apparently they got the order wrong or whatever. So she goes behind the register and makes her own order. Can you believe that? These are things we don't see, man, at higher quality places. I really believe that food makes you act a certain way, man. I really believe it. I don't see people that act this way at higher quality places. Food changes your behavior. It definitely does. It definitely does. It does something to your brain. I don't know what it does, but it definitely does something to your brain. Because time and time again, we see so many people act a damn fool in these lower tier establishments for whatever reason. They're angrier. You know, the energy is just bad. They're aggressive. You don't see that. Right? You don't see that, man. At these other spots. You just don't. So you gotta, again, winner's diet, man, right? This applies to the winner's diet. Who you're around. This isn't someone you want to be around. I can almost guarantee you this is not someone you want to be around. Right? This has nothing to do with your success. So yeah, man. You got to change your environment, change where you eat, change what you're putting in your body. This is not it, man. All right, man. Anyway, let's get to the main event today, man. So the main event, drum roll, please. Anyway, the main event, man. Why men fall off after 30, man. So a lot of you guys are 30 years old plus right now, and you know, you look back at some of your old photos and you remember when you had the six pack. You remember when you were 10, 12% body fat. You remember when you were a lot more active. You can run that marathon. You can't do it no more. You can't do it no more. Why? Because you're not on the same routine. You're not on the same schedule. So there's a lot of factors for that. You're right. As we get older, it's just very common that physically we decline. It's just part of biology, but it doesn't mean that, we have to let that happen, right? You can still remain active. You can still remain active in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. Now, you might not be as mobile and loose as you were in your teenage years and your 20s, but you're still going to be way better off than someone that's in your age group that's not doing that. Which is why I encourage guys, doesn't matter how old you get. Doesn't matter. As long as you start and you make an effort to get better, then that's all you really need. So, let's break this down, man. What falling off looks like, right? The number one thing that falling off looks like is guys gaining belly fat, joints hurt, back hurts, lower sex drive. And a lot of this is contributed to the 1% drop in testosterone that men experience after 30 every year. Right? Now, again, it's biology. It naturally happens. But that doesn't mean that, we can't do anything to prevent it from dropping even further. Right? This is why having a strong exercise routine is key. So you can have higher as because obviously of that drop in age. So really you shouldn't be on that until I would say you're almost 50, because at that point it's just like, all right, I might need a little boost, right? Depending on, no matter how much exercise you do. But right now, as we're in our 30s, this is what we need to be doing. So I need you guys to be having a solid workout routine, and you can get that with me. Obviously, I do online coaching, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and we give guys the tools and the keys so that this doesn't happen, and we can still, feel young even as we get older. I don't want you guys to feel like getting older is a punishment or a death sentence. We can still look good and feel good in our 30s, 40s, 50s, as long as we continue to have a good routine under us. So, but that's one part of falling off. We gain belly fat, joint pain, back pain, right? Our sex drive starts to decrease due to lack of testosterone. Next up is poor sleep. We're addicted to caffeine and energy crashes. So not only do we get, the physical side as far as weight gain, belly fat, things of that nature, but now we also get to the energy levels, right? Our energy levels decrease. We're not as active as we were in our 20s and teen years. We can't move around how we used to. We're a step slower. So our sleep starts to suffer. You know, we get addicted to caffeine and energy drinks a lot more. And, you know, we have a high throughout the morning of energy because of the caffeine, and then we crash down at nighttime. And that's when you guys, after work, you guys don't want to do anything but go to sleep, watch the game, drink a beer, and go to bed. And that right there, that is a recipe for disaster, right? I always talk about how our habits changes. We have to find time to work out, whether it be right before work or after work. Most of you guys have 9 to 5 jobs where, you know, you don't have time to work out uh, during the daytime. So you have to work out either in the morning or nighttime. You got to pick. You got to pick one, right? So you just do what works for you. There's really no right or wrong time to work out. If it's in the morning, then that's fine. Or if you're a night person, then work out at night after work, you know. But just make sure you have time to work out. So, and then the symptoms of falling off, the last one is no structure, skipping workouts, reactive mindset. So again, it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, you might have been on a workout routine, but now you get older, those symptoms are starting to appear. Low energy, low motivation, you know, our sex drive decreases, which is tied to our motivation drive as well. So when those two things decrease, you're not really in the mood for physical activity. So then you start to put off the workouts. One day starts to turn into 2 days, 2 days into 3 days, 3 days into a week into a month, and so on and so forth. By the time you look back, you didn't gain 20 something pounds. And that's a cycle for most men. Most guys go through this and they don't even realize, you know? So the reason behind a lot of these declines, man, is physiological, obviously. A lot of us got responsibilities, right? Kids, career, bills. So a lot of times the last thing you're thinking of is working out when you have, you know, young children, you have a wife that needs to be tended to, you have bills and things like that. It's overwhelming. I'm stressed out. So my question to you guys is, how do you handle that stress? Most of the time is you pop open a bottle. That's how you handle stress, which is only going to make you even more stressed. So that's not the way you handle issues, man. A lot of us try to run from our problems through sedations, alcohol, drugs, you know, gambling, pornography, whatever it is that's going to take you away for that time being. When in reality, man, that time should be spent in to give you a return. A lot of those things give you a false return. It's temporary, but it damages you more on the back end. It gives you upfront pleasure, but it damages you more on the back end. Mainly because these things can cause addictions. The only thing I want you guys addicted to is the gym, working out, eating correctly. These things give you a huge return. It may not be fun on the front end, but there's a saying, man, upfront pleasure almost always leads to back end pain. I'll say it again. Upfront pleasure almost always leads to back end pain. So we pleasure ourselves to sedations, gambling, again, pornography, alcohol, drugs, anything that's going to take us away from whatever that we're feeling in that moment. Whereas you take the other route, it's a lot slower, may not be as fun, take the front end pain, which is going to lead 99% of the time to back end pleasure. And that you can write off with long term. I mean, you see it all the time, right? What are you willing to sacrifice, man? I had to sacrifice a lot when it came to building up my business. I had to sacrifice time with family. I had to sacrifice time with friends. I had to sacrifice my social life because what I wanted was I wanted to have success so bad. I put all these things on the back end. I miss birthdays, weddings, important events because I wanted it so bad. Sleep. Man, let me tell you something, man. I would be working 2 jobs, right? Train in the morning, throughout the day, then train again in the evening, then go work another job at nighttime, get a few hours of sleep, then get back up in the morning, go train, go work out, rinse and repeat. That was my cycle. So what are you willing to sacrifice, man? You got to give something up. There's trade-offs with everything. Some of you guys just want everything, all to work out without giving anything up. That's not how it works. You got to give up something, man. So you got to ask yourself that, man, especially when it comes to this weight loss journey. You guys getting back to who you wanted to be, who you felt like, who you really are. You're going to have to sacrifice something. You got to figure out what that is. I can't do it for you. Kids can't do it for you. Wife can't do it for you. What are you willing to sacrifice? You got to ask yourself the tough questions, man. And only you guys know that. All right, so responsibility overload, man. The next thing is loss of mission, right? A lot of us have no urgency. We have no target. A lot of us are just cool with just having our lives be where it is. I'll get to it later. I'll do it tomorrow. It's very easy for tomorrow to turn into next year. You guys don't understand how easy that is. Procrastination is a devil. I promise you. Because I see it all the time. And I was like that as well. Putting things off to the last minute, not doing it all the way through, not doing it at all. This is a recipe for disaster. So you got to have, if you don't have a deadline, it's never going to get done. I had a deadline as to when I wanted to start this show. But before that, I had to handle other stuff that I was working on the side. I had other duties I was tending to. But I told myself, man, we got to start this show by June or mid-June. No later than the middle of June. And sure enough, here we are starting the show. Already on episode 2. So you got to have a target. You got to have urgency and deadlines. There has to be deadlines, man. People just businesses don't just run off of, oh, I feel like it when I do it. I'll do it when I feel like it. No, they have deadlines. Yo, we need this done by X date. We need this done by 5 p.m. tonight. Can't just do what you want to do. I know you might see it on social media, but that's fake. So you got to have a deadline, man. And the last one is probably the most common one. Comfort culture. Comfort culture. I know you guys see it all the time. Work-life balance. Oh man, enjoy yourself. You have external factors that encourage you to be comfortable. Mainly media propaganda, right? Family, friends, man, even your spouse will say this. You don't need all that right now. Just come enjoy this with the family or whatever, or with me. Here, come eat this pizza. I know you're on a diet right now, but here, eat this pizza. Enjoy and just enjoy yourself. No discipline. People are cool with just being mediocre, which is why we see big um the big difference between the wealth gap in this country. People are okay with just getting by. Nobody wants to level up. Nobody wants to reinvent themselves. They're just cool. I want work-life balance. You guys think guys like Kobe, Tom Brady, LeBron, Michael Jordan, all these guys, all these prominent sports figures, Michael Jackson, Jay-Z, whoever, just think of anybody that you know that is extremely talented at their craft. It doesn't even have to be a celebrity. Just someone that you know that's extremely talented. Do you think they had work-life balance? Do you think they just, said, "Oh, I want to." Do you think they kind of just did what everybody else was doing? No, the answer is no. Because if they did, they wouldn't be where they are. They wouldn't be successful at what they're doing. I don't want to be like everybody else. So I got to outwork everybody else. It just is what it is. I got peers. I've had plenty of peers in the fitness industry. I never wanted to be like them or do what they were doing. I wanted to stand out and do my own thing. I didn't want it to just compete. I wanted to dominate. And I always felt like I was the most talented trainer out there. There was trainers that had way bigger clientele than me, but I always felt like I was more talented. I just never wanted to just be like everybody else, So in order to be great at something, in order to be good at something, you got to do what most people aren't willing to do, man, and put in extra hours. Give me 1 second. I got to charge this laptop. Give me 1 second, you guys. Charge this real quick. So you got to put in extra hours, man. You got to put in extra time. You got to do what no one else is doing. They're going to encourage you to get off track of what you're doing because they don't want you to, most of the time, they don't want you to surpass them. People are jealous like that. When they see you putting in work and working hard at something, subconsciously they feel like they're slacking. So their only strategy is to bring you down with them. This is why I say, man, the winner's diet, right? Who you're around is very important. You are around people that support you, even if they're not, you know, trying to be on a health journey. As long as they support you, that's just as good as them having the same goals as you. Hey, man, I'm not really into that workout stuff, but hey, I support whatever you do. That's a good friend. The friend that's not good is, hey, man, let's go to the bar. Let's throw back these shots. Let's go here and eat this, knowing that you're on a fitness journey. Those are not people that you want to really hang around, because it's just not conducive for your success. So, comfort culture, man, it's a very parasitic culture that we are living in the US. People are encouraging us to be fat constantly. This is why we see the body positivity movement is alive and well. That hasn't gone anywhere. They're pushing that culture on us. They want you guys to be fat. They want you guys to be sick so they can profit off you. But that's a different episode for a different time. But it's very important, man. We have to see the signs early, and we have to lock in and focus. So anyway, man, how we reverse all this, right? This is the solution part. We've already described on what it looks like to fall off, the signs, how we get there. This is the solution, man. A simple starting point, right? If you guys haven't picked up a weight in years and months, the simple starting point is just start walking. That's the first thing you do. You don't know what to do, go to the gym, just hop on the treadmill, just start walking for half an hour. That's the first thing you do. The next thing you do, after you get comfortable in that, start doing body weight exercises. Start doing push-ups. Start doing dips. Start doing, if you can, hop on that pull-up machine. Some of you guys may not be able to do full pull-ups, but start doing pull-ups on the pull-up machine, assisted. Start doing body weight squats. Just start moving your body, and then eventually you're going to start going into the weight training portion. Now you're doing overhead presses. Now you're doing bench press. Now you're doing, weighted squats. Now you're doing lunges. Now you're hopping on the machines. And then before you know, you have a routine. And we have a routine for you guys in my online coaching. So make sure you guys tap in with that. Definitely send me a DM on either my Project Mac Instagram or Winners Diet TV. DM me the word coach and we'll get you guys right. But these are things that you have to start from step A. These, especially if you guys haven't worked out in a long time, start with step A. Just start walking. Then you transition to the calisthenics, body weight stuff, push-ups, sit-ups, dips, assisted pull-up machine, body weight squats, body weight lunges. That's the first thing you start with, right? Then you transition to the free weights and the machines. And then before you know it, now you're in a cycle. Just keep repeating that, right? If you're doing body weights, do everything from 3 sets of 20, 3 sets of 10 to 20, right? Then the machines, the same thing. And then before you know it, you guys are on a routine. And then that's when we start getting the ball rolling. And then that's when we start to see results. So you have to start from step A, then go to step Z. Walk first, then we can run. All right. So these are things that you guys can do right now. All my 30-plus-year-olds, I understand it's hard right now. It's, getting back it's humbling, and you're going to be humbled, and you're supposed to be humbled, because you're not supposed to be, this stagnant in your life. You can't be. We're constantly meant to be doing hard shit. That's what it takes to be a man. We got to be doing hard shit constantly. Constantly push yourself to do things out of your comfort zone. That's when you start to see results and see change, right? You got to be uncomfortable. And then it gets somewhat easier. Working out is never easy. It's still not easy for me. And I've been working out damn near 15 years at this point. It's still not easy for me. But I've learned to adapt to it. You know, it's just part of the process. But eventually we'll get there. But that concludes the end of the show, man. We are an hour and 10 minutes in. Man, this was a good show. Hope you guys got some value from this. Again, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely. We're going to be doing more of these, man. So you guys just stay tuned with me. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, Winners Diet TV, and at Project Mac on Instagram. You can see my handles here. All right, Project Mac and Winners Diet TV on Instagram. TikTok, it's Project Mac. And yeah, man, we're going to be back again later on this week. So make sure you guys tap in. But besides that, you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to see y'all soon.